What's going on, guys? Got a little bit of time after eating lunch, and I want to welcome you back. Today is, I believe, number six, or episode six of Music Biz Daily. My name is Matei, and today I want to talk about Spotify playlists, third-party Spotify playlists, and sort of what you need to know about evaluating them, kind of the life cycle of some of the third-party playlists, and just overall if it's advantageous or not, right? So at this point, us as a artist incubator, as a digital marketing company, specifically for the music industry, we have had playlist partners for a little over a year. What I mean by that is that we have a very scrutinizing process or vetting process for getting playlists to be a part of our network that we're willing to, sort of transact with and get our clients on those playlists. And, I kind of want to give you a summary of what I found out for the last year of working with these third party playlists and when they're advantageous and kind of what we're looking at now a year later in terms of being able to succeed for on behalf of our clients in the Spotify world. Um, so look, in the beginning, right, we would evaluate it based on the amount of monthly listeners. There's various tools you can use for that. We did our like own little script and API connection, and then I built out sort of our own process. I wouldn't necessarily call it a piece of software, but definitely a way to evaluate playlists over time, at least over a week's period of time, to get an average of the monthly listeners, make sure it was real, and also sort of do like a manual analysis behind how the playlists themselves brands themselves and how they are marketing to the world about their playlist, who their playlist is, and so on and so forth. We also looked at things like the amount of total songs on that playlist, the amount of minutes played, and of course, analyzing the traffic, where it came from, making sure we're not dealing with playlist companies that got sort of either greedy or complacent and started advertising to foreign countries and getting foreign traffic. So, let me kind of start there, right? Because third party playlist, basically, it's an entity or it's a playlist, and it's up to them. One thing you can't control about these third party playlists is you cannot control who they market to, whether they're going to stick to their guns and advertise only to US and Canadian listeners potentially and really target well and accordingly by the genre, or are they going to get either greedy or complacent or cheap and start marketing to Malaysia, Turkey, Brazil, other places that do have Spotify as a useful platform, and get listeners from there. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, again, getting Spotify listeners from all over the world. Eventually, you will get paid for the streams as long as they're real people. But again, it sort of, goes back to me talking about these marketing strategies. Is like, where do you want to go first to market at? It's cool that you may have a bunch of listeners overseas, but are they ever going to be able to come and listen, purchase a ticket and come see you at a live venue in the United States? Are they ever going to engage with you the way you want them to engage with you online through social media networks? Or are they ever going to buy a piece of merchandise from you? So there's nothing necessarily wrong with getting traffic from outside countries, but it does become a little sketchy over time to really see, are these listeners real? And the reason I want to kind of mention that is because it's been, reported on. You could read some blogs out in the music industry that certain countries, not all, but certain countries like Brazil, like Malaysia, and the Singapore area, and like Turkey, I think it was, and there's a few others on that list that, even though they have Spotify in their country that people can sign up for and listen to music, these countries are also known as hotspots for server farms because of their legal laws. Like, any company can get a VSP, a virtual private server environment, and basically fake these accounts in this listenership and so on and so forth. So that's one thing that you have to look for. And second thing is that when they're getting the traffic, it's how are they marketing to these users? Is their playlist curated well enough? What I've noticed with some of our partners, few things. At some point, I would say in December of last year, we had enough partners in like the R&B and hip hop genre that if you had enough of funds, we could have potentially gotten you enough playlists if they accepted you. They could have got close to 1 million streams on a particular song, right? It would have cost anywhere between $7,000 to $11,000 worth of investment to get that many streams. But considering that nothing shady was going to happen with those playlists and that all those listeners and streams were real, you would have gotten paid back roughly $3,500 out of that $10,000 investment, which is a third. It's not horrible. Plus, you gain a lot of fans and listeners. But what we also found is that you know the more quality playlists were getting saves and followers from the listeners and streams at a higher rates, anywhere from 3 to 10% sometimes. The low quality ones we're doing it at 1%, and it's a testament to obviously also how quality your music is, not just how many listeners, but that sort of thing that we found. Now, when we figured out how to do direct consumer marketing and drive traffic from various social media sites directly to your Spotify playlist songs, we've seen conversion rates as high as 30 to 50% on saves and followers. So it's definitely a lot more expensive to do it that way, but it's way more worth it in the long run because these people are actually engaging you in the high, and with you on the higher level. Another thing that we found is some of these playlist partners, um, you know, I guess they would get greedy or complacent and they would start accepting anything and everything, right? And once you start accepting every customer and place their song on your playlist, the quality of the playlist degrades a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just becomes shitty. If you look at it from the standpoint of a listener, is like, why would you as a listener want to continue to listen to a playlist that has a mix of shitty music and a mix of good music, right? As a listener, you're going to disengage. So that, goes to some of these playlists that may have like 300,000 followers or 100,000 followers, but they're literally only getting like 5,000, listeners per month. That sort of shows that quality disparity, is that the quality is shit. They're advertising, they're getting a bunch of followers, but the listeners are not actually engaging because over time they find that the music is not that great. They don't really like what they're being exposed to, and over time their listenership drops. So, and that's hard to control in this industry. Out of all the partners that we've had, good 40% at this point, not that they did anything wrong, but they ended up getting shut down. And the reason these playlists get shut down very frequently, and some survive longer than others, is because at the end of the day, you guys have to realize that these third-party playlists, at least according to the terms and conditions of the Spotify platform as it is right now by Spotify, you're not allowed to charge anyone to put anyone's song on your playlist. That's against the terms and conditions. So eventually, every one of these playlists, one way or another, is somehow going to get caught. Now obviously these are our playlist partners, so the last thing we want is for them to get caught up by, or somebody reporting them to get shut down because they were delivering quality services to us and our clients. But it sort of happens. Like some of my favorite playlist partners that we had that I like to reach out to and get our clients placed on there, especially in hip hop and R&B, they ended up getting shut down. And I don't know if it was the lower quality, like I don't know what it was, but they ended up getting shut down, right? And another thing I noticed, I don't want to make this video too long, is that a lot of these third-party playlists, they're just immature companies. You know what I'm saying? Like first of all, if you wanted to be a company and you create a business model to play with fire, meaning that you are creating a service that goes against the terms and conditions of the platform that you are playing within its ecosystem, that's a stupid business model, right? So it's very rare that you find companies that have quality playlists. you know the quality playlists that are really out there that are third party are these large influencers like an NBA basketball player, or like somebody, I don't know, like Gary Vee, or some influencer like Oprah. Let's say if Oprah had a playlist, right? Or we have department stores like Nordstrom's and Old Navy. All these stores will end up having playlists, and if you can develop a relationship with that curator, they're not going to charge you because they don't want they don't want their playlist to get shut down. They'll just do it off the strength of the relationship and the quality of the song. But those are very hard to come by, and it takes a very long time to develop a relationship with these playlists. So everybody else that's a third party latest that's charging for their playlisting, we don't mind. We want our clients to get the best quality service and experience and brand growth on Spotify, but I can't control that if some other asshole or person that's annoyed with what's going on in the industry and they report them and they get shut down. That sucks. That sucks for us as a company because we lose a good playlist partner, but it also sucks for that company that based their entire business model on doing third party playlists. So this is what I want you guys to understand, that it's beneficial to get on a bunch of these playlists. That's also, getting on a bunch of third-party playlists is also how you can increase your chances of getting a lot of these curated Spotify playlists by Spotify, curators. but it's a finicky game. Like it's like it's worse than the stock market. It's almost kind of like the cryptocurrency market if you guys follow markets, but it goes up and down way too often, and that creates a massive problem. And for you to really uh, expect that a playlist that you like that's giving you good service to stay around for 2 years, the likelihood of that happening is fairly low. Just from our experience, it's probably like a 30% chance that this playlisting company is going to stay around. Some labels obviously have playlists, but that's what I want you guys to consider. So what we're doing now is that yes, we could continue to stick with our playlist partners. We want to deliver more business to them, especially if they're quality, because they deliver quality service for our clients. But at the same time, we're figuring out better and better ways every day to drive direct to consumer traffic directly to your Spotify songs, because in the long run it's way better. You get way better engagement, even though it's a little bit costlier. But imagine it as an investment to gain a higher engage, higher quality traffic and fanship to them. And this is also a way we can get you faster, maybe a little bit more expensive, but we can get you faster on a Spotify algorithmic playlist like Discover Weekly or some of these genre based uh, um, playlists, algorithmic playlists from a Spotify standpoint. Also on like the on repeat playlists, all of that. We increase it a lot better by running direct to consumer ads, but also that takes some months of harvesting your pixel data, understanding your target audience, understanding how to retarget properly, and all of that. So that's not something we could set up for you like month one of working with us, unfortunately. But there's benefits to all of this. So I'm going to end it here because I'm way past 10 minutes on this video. I try to keep these to 10 minutes or under, but the Spotify playlisting kind of industry is a big topic. It's been interesting working within it. And I'm going to leave it at this. If you guys have any questions or comments on this particular topic, as always, please reach out, DM me, schedule a call with us, whatever. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.